Try to make this quick and easy today.
Oh, you're good.
I don't think we're going to take up the full 2 hours. There's some notes for you. So today, basically, I'm just going to go over sun exposure, how the sun affects your skin, how to prevent sun damage, how to prevent skin cancer, sunburns, and things like that. And then I'm going to show you how to do facial for people specifically after sun. This is a facial you can do here in 20 minutes or less. And I'll demonstrate it on Jasmine, and then we'll have probably you two do it on each other, and I'll have Jasmine do facial on me, and then we'll be all done.
Perfect.
So I'm just going to start with a question. What is the #1 rule of skincare? Sunscreen.
Oh.
#1 rule of skincare is sunscreen all day, every day. And that's going to lead me into the next question. What is the #1 anti-aging product in the world? Sunscreen, correct. The reason why it's what's called intrinsic aging versus extrinsic aging. Intrinsic aging or interior aging is the genes that you were born with. That's just naturally how you age through your life. Extrinsic aging or external aging is the aging that we get from environmental factors like pollution, bad habits like smoking, or overexposure to the sun. In fact, 90% of extrinsic aging comes from the sun. 90% of your wrinkles are going to come from the sun. That's why it's so important to wear sunscreen every day. Because again, it's the #1 anti-aging product in the world. Because 90% of the aging comes from the sun. There's different kinds of UV light. There's UVA rays, UVB rays, and UVC rays. We don't necessarily have to worry about the UVC rays. Though they're the most powerful rays, they're primarily filtered out by the ozone, so we don't have to worry about those. But it's the UVA rays and the UVB rays that we need to worry about. UVA rays, I like to call them the aging rays, UVA for aging. These are the light rays that are going to start damaging the DNA in your skin cells. In fact, the sun can start damaging the DNA in your skin cells in less than 1 minute of unprotected sun exposure. UVB rays, I call these the burning rays. These are the rays that are going to tan you or burn you. So it's important to know the difference between UVA and UVB and UVC. When you're talking about sunscreens with your clients, talk about broad spectrum sunscreens. Those are going to protect both against UVA and UVB. All of our sunscreens here by Image Skincare offer broad spectrum as well, and also they provide protection from blue light from your screens, from your tablets and your iPads and cell phones and stuff. Yes, it's true. Blue lights, they can age you, and that's why younger generations than myself, I'm right on the edge of millennials. So folks that are usually younger than me, they're starting to have skin problems earlier because of so much screen time. Next up is tanning. What is a tan? A tan is the body's natural response to overexposure to the sun. It increases the production of melanin in your skin to protect your skin, to protect from DNA damage and also radiation damage. 35% of all Americans have reported that they've used a tanning bed at some point in their life. And though there are about 18,000 tanning beds or tanning facilities in the United States, there's only 1,000 hospitals that treat skin cancer. So that's a crazy statistic right there. 18,000 tanning beds versus 1,000 hospitals that treat skin cancer. It's a huge difference between the two. That's going to lead us right into sunburn. When the amount of radiation from the sun, or UV light, when it's too much for the melanin in your skin to handle, that's when we start getting into the burning zone. The reason why we burn is the redness that we see is the inflammation from our blood vessels. So blood vessels expanding means that the blood vessels are going to get closer to your skin. That's why you see the redness. Redness in your skin is actually blood too close to the skin because your blood vessels are swelling. That's what can happen during a sunburn is your blood vessels can swell, and that's where the redness comes from. And then different ways that you can treat a sunburn. Of course, staying hydrated is important. And then if somebody has a sunburn, just if you notice that you're in a sunburn, get yourself in the shade as soon as possible. The best way that I have noticed is for treating a sunburn, just pure aloe. Natural aloe. It's been used for over 2,000 years to treat burns and cuts. It works then, and it's still working now. So go with aloe for sure. If you have sunburn, can also leave lasting effects on your skin, like sunspots or discoloration. The technical term for this is called hyperpigmentation. This is when the melanin, there's an overproduction of melanin in your skin. That's because too much sun exposure, and that's where you can get sunspots and things like that. For the most part, you can treat hyperpigmentation with chemical peels, or microdermabrasion is another thing that we can do. We don't necessarily offer those things here, but there are topical skin lighteners out there, like the Illuma line from Image Skincare. That is a lightening or brightening line that can help with discolorization. There's a couple ingredients in there. In the Illuma line, one is called kojic acid. This is a natural brightener. And then there's also another one called licorice root extract. That one is also a lightener and brightener. You can find both of those in our under eye masks as well. You can find the licorice root extract in there too. And then I'm gonna move on. See, we're going real fast today. It's a real quick class today. Free radicals and antioxidants. I think I've gone over this before briefly, so I'm just gonna quickly touch on it. When you have overexposure to the sun, what it does is it can take a skincare molecule or a skin molecule and it can knock out an electron. This is an unpaired molecule now. It's called a free radical, and it's going to try and steal that missing electron from its neighbor. And now this one is missing an electron, and it's going to keep stealing, and this creates a chain reaction that damages your skin. This whole process is called oxidative stress. That's when we start knocking electrons out of molecules. An antioxidant donates that missing electron back into the molecule, bringing it back into balance, stopping that chain reaction that damages your skin. Powerful antioxidants like vitamin C is a powerful antioxidant. Green tea is a powerful antioxidant. You can find vitamin C in all the Vital C lines. You can find green tea in all of our Hormetic products. And then photoaging. This goes back to the extrinsic aging versus intrinsic aging. Photoaging is just another term for the process of your skin getting wrinkles from overexposure from the sun. It can damage the elastin and collagen in your skin. These are proteins in your skin. Elastin, this is the protein that helps your skin bounce back after being stretched. When you lose elastin, when you're stretching your skin, it doesn't bounce back as much. That's how we get fine lines and wrinkles. Collagen is the protein that gives your skin strength. Also, peptides can do that as well. And sun damage or photoaging can loosen up those bonds and make collagen weaker in your skin, thus making more fine lines and wrinkles. And yeah, when your skin can no longer stretch, it begins to sag, and this allows fine lines and wrinkles to form. This is because of the degradation of elastin and collagen. That was page 1 of notes in 7 minutes.
Yeah. How do you feel like about body products or pastries that have collagen in it?
I think they're great. I put a collagen powder in my morning coffee. It's a collagen peptide powder that I get from Sam's Club. I'm sure there's some at Costco as well. I think that's a great way to get it for you, is just supplementing it. As beauty professionals, there's a fine line there. We're not necessarily supposed to recommend changes to diet or recommend oral supplements. That's something that like a nutritionist or a doctor would do. But I can say, I put a collagen and peptide powder in my coffee and it works for me, fine. But if you say you should put a collagen powder in your coffee, that's beyond our scope of practice. We're in the beauty industry, not the medical industry. And yeah, Image Skincare does offer a collagen supplement. It's called Yana, and I've tried it, and it worked beautiful for me. I used it about a year ago. It was fantastic, but again, I don't feel comfortable offering it to our clients because I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not a doctor, it's not my place to do that. In some states it is, but here it's not. All right, back page of notes. Now we're gonna get into the good stuff. UV protection, SPF, sunscreen. UV protection, hats and clothing can shield from burning, especially if those hats or clothing are darker colors. They do not shield you from aging though. Those aging rays will go through your hat, they'll go through your clothes. Those UVA rays are stronger than the UVB rays. So even though you're wearing a hat or UV protective clothing, you should still be wearing a sunscreen of SPF 30 or above to protect yourself. The clothing, kind of like SPF and sunscreens, clothing have, it's called ultraviolet protection factor. And that's just a measure of how long you can wear these clothes in the sun without the sun damaging your skin. And for the most part, our neck and our hands age faster than our face. That's primarily because we're driving and we put our hands directly in the sun, especially on long road trips. You're gonna get your décolleté, you're gonna get your neck, you're gonna get the back of your hands. And so wearing sunscreen on long road trips or wearing UV protective gloves on a long road trip would be excellent. I like going hiking with my husband and my dogs. I'm always wearing UV protective gloves out here so that I don't have to worry about my hands aging while I'm out there, because they do. Your hands age faster than your face and they give away your age. Next is SPF. This stands for Sun Protection Factor. And like the clothing, this is a measure of how long you can be in the sun before the sun starts to damage your skin. Theoretically, an SPF 15 means that you can be in the sun 15 times longer than without protection. However, when you get into higher levels of SPF, the effectiveness doesn't go out exponentially like the SPF factor. So if you have an SPF 30, that's great. SPF 50 is awesome, but if you have an SPF 15 versus an SPF 50, there's only a 6% difference of effectiveness between the two, between an SPF 15 and an SPF 50. Only a 6% difference between the two. So an SPF 30 should be great for just about everyone. An SPF 30, I just said that, SPF 30 should be fine for just about everyone, but here's the thing about it is, I put down, theoretically, SPF means you can prevent the sunburn, but primarily, we don't apply sunscreen correctly. For the most part, we don't apply enough. If you're doing your face about the size of a pea, or maybe the size of a jelly bean would be great for just your face. 2 full tablespoons for your whole body, including your face. That's the correct amount of sunscreen. 2 tablespoons for your whole body, including your face, or just about the size of a jelly bean for just your face. I would use the same amount for your neck and décolleté as well. Okay. Moving on to sunscreen then. There are 2 different types of sunscreens. There's organic sunscreens or inorganic sunscreens. Organic sunscreens, what these do is the organic ones, these absorb the UV radiation before the UV radiation starts to damage your skin. It absorbs the bad stuff. An inorganic sunscreen reflects the radiation from the sun. Instead of it hitting your skin, it reflects it away before it starts damaging. So, organic absorbs, inorganic reflects. A few ingredients that you can look for, like titanium oxide or zinc oxide. These are both examples of inorganic versus organic. How they're made, this is a very dangerous and caustic process. You have to wear, for some people do, not everyone, but some people will wear a hazmat suit when creating sunscreens because the ingredients are so dangerous, especially if you're in a compound pharmacy and it's just one pharmacist making this stuff. They're wearing full PPE in order to make the sunscreen. How it's done is your ingredients, they're ground out into a powder, and then they're mixed with oils, and then you put in your inactive ingredients, which is like your moisturizers, your antioxidants, or your gliding agents, like a popular one would be called cyclopentasilicane. This is a derivative of silicone. That's really popular in sunscreens to help it glide smoothly across your skin. Because when you have a mineral sunscreen, that's exactly what it is. I mean, it's rocks, it's minerals that you're just gliding across your skin. So a silicone like a cyclopentasilicane would help those minerals glide faster. There are cyclopentasilicane in these sunscreens. There's also cyclopentasilicane in Young Again from Kevin Murphy. That helps to slide and glide. Now, this next one, I'm sorry, I missed one. There are titanium oxide or zinc oxide or ingredients that you want to look for. There's one ingredient that you want to avoid. It's called oxybenzone. This is a chemical that is currently in the process of being banned around the world because it kills coral reefs. That's the main reason. It does create allergies in humans and it can be irritating for humans. But the main reason why it's being banned is it's killing fish in the coral reefs. So we avoid sunscreens with oxybenzone. None of the products, the Indian skincare products, have oxybenzone. And I even looked at the cheap ones in town. The sunscreen at Dollar Tree, the dollar store sunscreen, does not have oxybenzone. It's a titanium dioxide, so that's perfectly healthy. Next is, there's some crazy videos on TikTok right now talking about how sunscreen causes cancer. This is wrong, this is false. In fact, as beauty professionals, it is our responsibility to shut down these rumors. There are multiple studies out there that can prove sunscreen prevents skin cancer. There are 0 studies that prove it causes skin cancer. And as beauty professionals, it's our mantra, sunscreen every day, no matter what. And when you have somebody on TikTok saying, no, it causes skin cancer, and they're getting tens of millions of views, some people are going to believe that, and some people are going to die. So again, as beauty professionals, it is our responsibility to shut that down. No, it does not cause skin cancer, it prevents skin cancer. It's so strange. It's only in the past couple months that I've been hearing about this. And so I've decided to include that in our class today, because it's important. And then another thing about sunscreens is the effectiveness of sunscreens in the United States versus the effectiveness of sunscreens in other countries. Like Korean sunscreens are starting to rise in popularity right now because they're more effective than what you can get in the United States. And here's why. In the United States regulates ingredients in sunscreens as an over-the-counter drug. And so it's harder to create healthy sunscreens or more effective sunscreens because of the huge amount of regulations of jumping that hurdle of this is a drug. In other countries like Korea, ingredients that are in sunscreens are considered cosmetics, not drugs. And so they can have higher concentrations of these active ingredients in them. And yes, some sunscreens outside the United States are more effective than what you can get here, simply because of the regulations that were put in place in 1999, and these regulations have not changed since. And so when you hear people say sunscreens don't work, there's more to that sentence. Sunscreens don't work as well as other sunscreens in the world. Saying sunscreens that you can get in the United States don't work at all, that's silliness. And if you have a quality brand, you're gonna be just fine. But the stuff that you can get at the dollar store, though the active ingredients are great, the other ingredients are not regulated so you don't really know what they're going to do. And it's a safe bet. If you can't pronounce it, it's probably not good for you. And then I got one more thing to go over, and that's vitamin D. And I think I talked about vitamin D last time a little bit, but vitamin D is technically a hormone, not a vitamin. And it's synthesized in your body after exposure to the sun. That's the only way it's really naturally made, is vitamin D is synthesized in your own skin from being exposed to the sun. And what it does is it's an antioxidant. We talked about that earlier. It also has anti-aging properties, and it also helps to create a healthy barrier function. And a barrier function is what keeps the good stuff in and keeps the bad stuff out. One of our lines, the Biome Plus line, that's a perfect example of barrier function. Vitamin D is in there. We have some niacinamide as well, which helps barrier function. So Biome Plus would be good for that. And because we're up here higher in this high altitude, we try to shield ourselves from the sun by wearing hats and sunscreen or staying indoors. And because of that, we do have a little bit of a vitamin D deficiency. In fact, everybody that lives up in this high altitude, we are all vitamin D deficient because of how close we are to the sun, because we try to protect ourselves from the sun. And there you go, that's your notes. You can keep that page. I think it's a lot more effective doing it this way than having you write it all down. But yeah, that was a whole lot of information in 10 minutes or 20 minutes. Do you see anything here that you have any questions about? Or that you'd like to discuss more? Because we have plenty of time. I'd be happy to answer any questions.
What's your opinion of like SPFs that are like 100 or things like that?
They would work for certain people. Okay, so for folks specifically who have fair skin or red hair, an SPF 75 would be perfect for somebody like that. An SPF 100 is way up there. I don't really know if there's going to be a difference between a 75 and 100. I really don't know. I'd have to look into that. But higher SPFs and people would be perfect for people on the higher end of the Fitzpatrick scale. People with light, fair skin, people with red or ginger hair. The higher SPFs would be good for them. But again, an SPF 30 should be fine for just about everyone. Any other questions before we move on? Okay. I'm going to show you how to do a facial for somebody who has been in the sun. I'm going to quickly just go through the products that are in the facial. I'm going to show you how to do the facial on Jasmine, and then we'll do the facial on each other, and then we'll be done for today. So the ingredients in this, the cleanser, the aromatic cleanser, we're familiar with that one. Why this one? Because the main ingredient in here is aloe. The next thing is going to be your exfoliant. The Vital C Hydrating Enzyme Mask works as both an exfoliant and a mask at the same time. So you can hit both steps at once. This has enzymatic exfoliating properties from papaya, and that helps to eat away the dead skin cells on the surface of your skin. And then it also has some vitamin C and natural moisturizers to hydrate your skin while it's exfoliating. So this is perfect for after sun, and it gives you a nice little glow for a day or two afterwards. After that, since we're in the sun, we're going to need a hydrator. And our hydrator that we have here at Prodigy Salon is the Ageless Total Hyaluronic 6 Filler. Hyaluronic acid, it's a natural compound that's already in your skin, and it draws moisture from the air, and it draws moisture from lower layers of your skin and holds it at the surface, hydrating your skin all day. There's a difference between hydrators and moisturizers. Hydrators are like hyaluronic acid or glycerin. These work from the inside and hydrate your skin from the inside. Moisturizers cover the outside of your skin and hold the moisture in. So hydrators work from the inside out, moisturizers work from the outside in. Next is going to be a serum. Definitely familiar with this one. Vital C Hydrating Anti-Aging Serum. This has 5 different kinds of vitamin C, and vitamin C is a very potent antioxidant, which is what we need right after sun exposure. There's also a little hyaluronic acid in here as well. And then after the serum, we're gonna do our eyes, the Hormetic Balancing Eyelid Gel. The two main ingredients in there that are important is quinoa extract that helps to reduce puffiness, and then there's a peptide complex. Peptides prevent new fine lines and wrinkles from forming in the first place. So if you have somebody that is worried about wrinkles, we're talking about retinols or peptides. Retinols renew skin, peptides prevent skin from getting fine lines and wrinkles. And then after your eyes, you're gonna do the moisturizer, which is going to be our daily SPF 75. The pump broke on our bottle, so we'll put it in here. Why this moisturizer? Two reasons. One, it reduces redness. In their clinical trial, it reduces redness by 21%. And it also increases moisture by 87%. So again, I said it last time, this SPF 75, in my opinion, this is the most sophisticated sunscreen on the market. And it's tinted, which makes it popular without even trying. Then after that, you're gonna finish up with their lips, which is the Hormetic Balancing Lip Enhancement Complex, vitamin E, and avocado oil. These are both natural moisturizers, and they both protect against sun damage. Vitamin E protects your skin from the sun by releasing the radiation as the sun away from your skin. It releases it as heat away from your skin. And avocado oil is a natural SPF 5. SPF 5 isn't going to do much for you, but it's not nothing. So I'm just going to show you this facial quickly, and then we'll do it on each other, and then we'll be done for today. Real quick and easy class. Jasmine's going to be my model today.
Showed up first.
I was here at the same time as you. I was just sitting in my car. Or in some car.
Thanks for a hot minute.
I was playing this song.
Actually, no.
Like you can chase this toy around home. I go and spend like an hour. I feel bad. He's a lonely cat. I don't know if he likes to be alone or what. And every time I go over, he wants to play. So I'm like, I just spend like an hour.
Yeah. Bill always tried to explain to my room and I'm trying to play with him. And just sit there and I'm like, why do you do this?
Yeah.
Like, why don't you play?
Someone wants to play. He really wants to check.
He's just a
When did you get back?
Saturday? No, Friday.
Yeah, because I'm
But she- Oh, you are? That's fine. Friday, but she won't be back to work until Monday.
Also, we don't have a boss anymore.
I think it's my feet.
Yeah, that'll be okay. Again, this is a quick 15-20 minute facial. So I'm just going to start with the Hormetic Cleanser. I'm going to grab some gloves. I'll be right back.
Oh no.
Again, it's your personal preference in these shorter facials. If you want to start with a hot towel just to warm their skin or open up their pores, you can. It's not listed on there. It's not required. You don't have to. I like to do it because it kind of just sets the mood with a hot towel to begin with. And you have time for it too. Just gonna put this right on your chin. Is this temperature too hot for you? Have I ever done a facial on you, Jasmine? I think once.
At school.
At school, long time ago. Also, this helps to pick up a little bit of their makeup if they're wearing it as well. Hormetic Cleanser. up is all you need. I'm gonna wet my fingers. Main ingredients here is aloe, it's a natural moisturizer. Green tea is a natural antioxidant. So we are calming and moisturizing our skin while we're cleansing it. You can massage it into your skin. The manufacturer recommends 1 minute massage. Then we're gonna remove the cleanser with a hot towel. You can also, you don't have to use a hot towel necessarily, especially if your guest has a toner. You don't wanna use a hot towel. So you could use cotton pads, you could use gauze, and there's also those smaller dry towels that are in the skin cabinet that you can use as well. I like using hot towels for all of them, but again, if they have a toner, I'll just use something else. Here I just found where her top and her lower jaw meet. Just working that, and then I'll move up to her temples. And then I'm kind of have 2 fingers at the temples and then 1 right at the top of the crown. The top of the crown, that's a nice acupressure point right there. It's very calming and soothing just to put a little pressure right there. Another one that you can do is if you're holding pressure right there at the top, you do the same thing for their chin. Just put a little pressure at the tip of their chin. It's very nice. And also, these products can be used on people with different skin types and different skin care concerns. These products can be used on every skin type or every skin user. Next up is going to be the exfoliant / mask, Vitamin C hydrating enzyme mask. We're going to do some gentle exfoliation while we're hydrating at the same time. This you can leave on, you can actually leave it on up to 10 minutes if you'd like. You may feel a little activity. Your guest might feel some tingling or activity. That's totally fine, totally normal. Especially after sun, you kind of want a little activity. That just means that the enzymes are breaking down the dead skin cells. And then I'll just do like a 3 to 5 minute massage. This I'm just doing on the thumb, with my thumbs on each side of the mouth. This helps to prevent marionette lines. I'll do it like 10 to 20 times. Now I'm going to go back to where her top and her lower jaw meet, and you will feel in there, you will feel some muscles like kind of popping or bursting through your fingers. That's where the tension is, so you want to keep holding that down. When you're holding it down, it's popping the gas bubbles inside the muscles, which relaxes the muscles. And then opening up the nasal passages is another very relaxing thing. So I take one thumb and put it on each side of the nostril, and then just draw my index finger under their jaw like that. Bring it back. This helps to open up the sinuses. I'll do it like 48 times. And then another one is I'm just going to take the tips of my fingers and place it right on her cheekbone. And then I'm just going to follow that cheekbone all the way back to her ears. Very slowly and a lot of pressure. And then once your fingers run out of space, just remove them. Right to the earlobe. And then kind of hands in a prayer position. Here's another one. Just slowly using effleurage to work your way up the face. So just slow circle patterns up the sides of the face. And then your two middle fingers just right in the center. You can do this fairly quickly. And you can continue that onto the nose as well. And then crow's feet and forehead lines. So that was the side of the eye. Now I'm doing the outside of the brow. Now the inside of the brow. And the center. And I kind of like to stop in the middle before I move on to the other side. So that was about 3 or 4 minutes. You can do up to 7 or 10 minutes. If you want to, you can even step away for 3 or 4 minutes and just let it process. You can totally do that. Right? Again, so much time in this 20 minutes to do this section. But at this point, I'm just going to remove the forearm. You can just see already, just with one application of that mask, how fresh and glowy her skin is just after one application. This is a fantastic, fantastic mask. Next up is going to be the hydrator. We're going to use the Ageless Total Hyaluronic 6 Film. It's called Hyaluronic 6 because I can't open the bottle, that's why. It's called hyaluronic 6 because there are 6 different kinds of hyaluronic acid in here. The molecules are all different sizes, so the smaller molecules will penetrate your skin faster. The larger molecules will take longer to penetrate, so this creates a time release effect that's going to be hydrating your skin for the rest of the day. And just keep it massaging until it absorbs. It usually takes less than a minute. Next is going to be our serum, Vitamin C Hydrating Anti-Aging Serum. Like the Ageless Filler, this has 5 different kinds of vitamin C in them. And vitamin C, for our purposes, we're using it as an antioxidant. But it's also an anti-inflammatory. It also suppresses the production of melanin. And it has anti-aging properties. It's also a natural moisturizer. I call it a super ingredient because it does many different things. Vitamin C, there's 3 main super ingredients out there. There's vitamin C, there's CBD, and there's gold. Those 3 are super ingredients. They do multiple things for your skin. I tried doing the gold leaf facial here, but Micah won't let me. Next is going to be eyes. Applying under the eyes primarily is like just tapping it under the eyes. This also helps. You don't even have to have a product to do this. You can just tap your eyes, and this naturally drains your lymph nodes under your eyes to prevent puffiness. You can wring the eyes like that. You can pinch the brow bone. If you do that, I'll start on the inside and I'll do 4 of them, working my way out to pinch the brow bone. Another one is to take your thumbs on the inside of the brow bone, like this, bring them around, and then pinch, pinch, and slide back on the cheeks. Again, I'll do it again. Use your thumbs to draw it over the brow bone, again, very slowly and a good amount of pressure. Pinch, pinch, draw back. And then another one is using your thumb and your index finger starting in the center, and is drawing your fingers over the brow bone on both sides. Do this, and then open up your fingers at the end to prevent crow's feet. So pinch and open, pinch and open, pinch, open, pinch. And then after that is going to be our moisturizer. This time it's going to be our SPF 75 because it both reduces redness and increases hydration. Another thing is gloves. When you're doing a facial, wearing gloves is your personal preference. I like wearing gloves for 2 reasons. 1, I just think it's more professional. And 2, your guest gets the full benefit of the product. It doesn't absorb into your fingers. However, I will say when you're waxing, yes, wear gloves every time when you're waxing because they can bleed if you pull the hairs out. I recommend wearing gloves always when you're waxing. It's your personal choice whether you're doing it on a facial glove. And then we're going to finish up with lips. Warmedic, Allison Lip Enhancement Complex. Actually, this was first created to be used after lip injections. to give even more of a temporary plumping effect. But you don't necessarily need the lip injections. You can have a temporary plumping effect with just this. And there's your image skincare after sun facial. How do you feel?
10 out of 10. We'll take a nap. Thank you.
Do you want to take a break and then we'll go and do the facials, or do you just want to go right into the facials?